It is officially after midnight on June 20th, and you know what that means. We can watch the Delirium pilot. I just finished watching it, and it was interesting, to say the least. I took a bunch of notes, so I know what I want to say, because whew, there was a lot to say about that thing. First off, if you haven't seen the pilot, I suggest you go do that now before watching this, because I'm going to say pretty much everything that happens, which if you've read the book, you know what happens, but still, I don't want to spoil you and ruin it for you if you're really hoping and holding out for this trailer, if it's where all your dreams are on, so I don't want to ruin anything for you. I don't want to spoil it. So if you haven't seen the pilot yet, thank you for stopping by, but come back after you've watched it so you can give me your opinion down below in the comments. Pilot started out with a narration by Emma Roberts as Lena, and can I just say that I am so sick and tired of these narrations for young adult or dystopian or anything like that. I get that it's an easy way to set up the premise, and especially since a lot of these, like Delirium, have complicated, intricate plots that are easy to read basically in a book because you just summarize it and everyone gets it, and are harder to make in a TV show. But seriously, people, let's find a better way to explain our world besides a narration. Hunger Games did it, and if they can do it, I have faith that everyone else can do it. So can we please just put the introduction narrations aside for the time being? Thank you. And also, Emma Roberts, I felt like was not the strongest in this narration, which is weird because she's not a bad actress. Like, the way she read that narration sounded very weird. It could be the way it was written too. It was very weird, but it set up the premise, so now we know that love is outlawed. If you fall in love, you're basically breaking the law and you get hunted down and killed. I was right in that the pilot took place over the entire first book, which was weird because it still changed things and it rushed things along. Like in the book, we had an entire 400 pages, because it's a huge book, for this relationship between Lena and Alex to blossom and develop and actually happen. In the show, we only have 43 minutes for the whole thing to happen, so by like the 20-minute mark, they're already kissing and Lena's thinking about throwing away her whole entire life to go with this guy. She's like, I'm so confused right now, I don't know what I'm feeling, and I'm just kind of like, that was super, super quick. Like, that is not how it went in the books, but they did have less time, so I can't really blame them. And still, it's not really like the emotion isn't there for me, I feel like, just because it happened so quickly. I feel like maybe the first book should have been the entire first season instead, because it would have played out nicer and seeing how the characters changed and stuff, because it was weird too how Hannah was like flirting with Julian. That was super awkward. He's like staring at her, like perving out, while she's just out lounging in like a bathing suit or whatever, and she's like, it's okay, you can stare at me if you want. And then Lena comes to her and is like, I think I might like this guy, and Hannah's like, oh no, you're sick. The cops call on her like, you're a great friend, Hannah. Right after she saved you from that party, you are a great friend. But if I remember correctly, in the book, she was a bitch too. So I guess that stayed the same. A lot of the stuff in the book was actually in the series, which was weird because it was still so bad. Like, I was like, this is reminding me of how bad the book was, because even though the story is staying true, it's still bad. The sheep were really, really weird. I feel like that was one thing that did go better in the book, because it wasn't like all of a sudden sheep just came in. Like, they at least had a function. Film very awkward how sheep came in and everyone was like, what do we, like, everyone just stood there for like 5 seconds and no one was like, ah, or anything, and I was like, what? It's sheep, guys, come on. We got Julian. Still don't really know what his function is. I didn't read the second book, but I still don't get what his function is. He is sick apparently and cannot have the procedure because of his physical ailments, which, I mean, he looked pretty healthy to me. Every time I saw him, I was like, can we at least have like a scene of maybe him coughing up blood or, you know, fainting or something like a Victorian lady, because I was like, this kid is perfectly normal. I don't understand why he's sick. Like, what's wrong with him? His dad, I guess, is like the whole creator and the pro guy for like, yeah, anti-delirium, it's the best. And then Julian finds the secret hideout of his dad's that's like all this stuff, like pictures of his old love, music that's banned, all these books that are banned, and Julian puts on the like headphones to listen to the music, and it's like normal music to us. Like, it sounds like, I don't know, like some kind of like Rihanna thing maybe, and he's like like, he looks so confused, like he's hearing like someone admitting that like they just murdered someone. Like, and then his dad finds him and basically tries to excuse it all away as, this reminds me why we need the cure. And he's like, how did it make you feel? And Julian's like, it made me feel. And the guy's like, that's the problem right there. No one is supposed to feel. That's why we need this cure, because love and emotions are just wrong and they make you kill people, like I did with my friend when my girlfriend left me for him. And Julian's whole function in the pilot, I didn't understand. I know he's kind of the love triangle in the book, but in the pilot, him and Lena never interacted, so I don't know if they're gonna change that now that Alex is whatever. And the thing is, he lives in Lena's town, so everyone knows that Lena escaped and is now in the wild, so it's not even like she can go back and start talking to him. Like, if she does, he's obviously gonna report her. So it's just, it was set up very weird, the pilot. Like, that's why I feel like there's just, where are they going to go after this? 'Cause Lena and Alex, like I said, their relationship just seemed so quick in the beginning that I was like, what's going on? I did start to like their relationship at the end though, and I think my favorite part in the entire pilot was when he rescued her at that party and they had that little heart-to-heart, and he explained right away everything that happened. I was like, jeez man, you are really trusting. I said this before, but I feel like Alex, if he behaved how he did in this TV show, he would have been caught a lot sooner than he was in the book. It was really creepy in the beginning. He like followed her everywhere and he's like, I watched you run and I fell in love with you before I even knew it was you. And she's just like, what? Stop it. You're so funny. And I'm like, what is going on? This is not a normal relationship. This is what happens when you take love away. Everyone turns cuckoo bananas and thinks like watching someone run every day is love and not a need for a restraining order. I said, Alex, kind of stalkerish. Julian, kind of a perv. They also had like this creepy PSA about delirium, which I guess was supposed to show just how serious they see this as a disease, but it was like a don't text while driving or like a drunk driving PSA where it was just like this guy comes up and is like, what's up girl? And she's like, like, and then they're like, don't fall in love, it'll kill you. And I was like, what is this right now? It's so weird. Also, a thing that I think they changed, but I didn't read the whole series, so I don't know if they really changed this, is Alex was actually not after, but like Lena was his assignment from the wild, because the wilds, I guess, were a lot more organized than they were originally in the books. And Alex was supposed to get close to Lena so they could figure out about her dad, because apparently, and I do not remember this in the book at all, but like I said, I didn't read the series. Apparently her dad supposedly died from cancer, which I remember that was in the book. But then that was a lie, and he was in prison but escaped 3 days earlier. So that was why all the people in the wild wanted to get to know Lena, because they thought if they could use her to draw her dad out, they could get him. And he apparently is like this scientist that was working on the cure, but then was like, we don't need this cure, and destroyed it all. So then they arrested him, and I guess said he died from cancer. I don't know. How do you lie to a family that your dad died from cancer? Like, did he have cancer? And then they were like, hey, he died? Or were they like, he had cancer and he died? Like, did they just spring it? Like, that's confusing to me. Still didn't understand too. They said her dad escaped from prison 3 days ago. So I was like, did this pilot all take place over 3 days? Because that is crazy if her and Alex fell in love in 3 days. That's a little too fast, guys. Haven't you read Romeo and Juliet? Love like that never ends well. In this case, it didn't, because Lena's sister called the police, the Delirium police. They came for Lena. They were like, brr, and Lena finally gets some guts. I was like, thank goodness, girl. And she fights back, but she gets captured. And then, like a bamf, Alex comes, knocks the police car. That was a cool scene. I was like, yeah, go Alex. And he gets her out, and they're running for the little wood fence thing that they need. And he's like, keep running. I'm right behind you. Keep running. And then she like falls and is like, oh, I can't do this anymore. And I was like, no, Lena, you're ruining the whole thing. Like, you are setting women characters back. I cannot handle when like they're weak like that. But anyway, he was like, you gotta do this. It's okay. It's okay. So then she finally gets the courage and she's like, all right, I'll go over the fence, leave my whole family behind. And Alex is behind her running like, I got you. I'm right behind you, blah, blah, blah. And then he gets shot and captured, and he's so good because he's still like, keep running. But she never turned back once. Normally in the movies or books, they'd turn back and be like, he just kept running. So I was like, I give you credit, Lena. You have a good self-preservation inside of you. She climbs the rope, which I still don't know how they missed her. They were like shooting at her, but I was like, they're gonna get you. But somehow they didn't get her. For some reason, the fence is just a deterrent. I was like, you know, everyone is literally like 2 feet away from the fence. Why don't you just climb the friggin' fence and go get them? But apparently, no, the fence is the end-all be-all. So once she was there, she was safe. And then that is how the pilot ended. And I was like, what? I think they did a good job adapting it, but it was still just very weak. There were confusing lines. The characters, I feel like, didn't match well. Like, I had no idea what Julian's function was in that, except maybe, I don't even know. I can't guess. Hannah, I thought would be like Julian's love interest, so I was like, that's very interesting, but then she turned out to be a little bitch and just like turned on Lena like that. And I was like, okay, apparently you're okay with getting your stupid match or whatever. Got better as it went on. Like, I feel like the ending was super intense, even though I knew what was going to happen. I was like, no, this can't happen. I would give the pilot C+, B- kind of thing. It wasn't horrendously atrocious like I thought it was going to be when I first started watching it, because it was really bad in the beginning. It was definitely better towards the middle / end part. So if you have watched the Delirium pilot, which I highly suggest you do, if you haven't, go on Hulu, watch it. If you have seen it, leave down below what you thought of it. I'm actually real excited that we got to see it though. I feel like I understand now why it didn't get picked up, because it wasn't the best thing, but it's just not my favorite adaptation, but not the worst one I've ever seen. So now that we've finally seen the pilot, we can all move on, put Delirium behind us, and thank you all for watching. I'm Miranda, and I will see you next time. Bye!